Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Aviravirmayedhi Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Virivitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatakam Bhuvi Jananti Ye Bhurida Jana. Your nectar-like words, warm and inspiring life stories, eulogized by learned sages, are indeed eradicator of shoots of ignorance, which are auspicious to hear and propitious to inculcate in one's life. Those who take these words to the world are indeed made the benefactor of the world. So as you know, in continuation with our centenary celebration, this is the 8th session, the first day of 8th session, and we are very happy that my brother Swami Prasannatmananda has come from San Francisco, that means Bay Area, Berkeley Center. So this is informal satsang. As it is said, as Sri Krishna said, Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantaschi Nityam Mam Ramanti Cha. So that means my devotees whose life force, like all the chitta, that means his mind stuff, is merged in me, chitta, madhya prana, and whose vital forces are surrendered to me. What they do when they meet, when they make each other to learn something about me. They talk about me and they get great pleasure. They derive great pleasure talking about me and the subtle nuances about my devotion, etc. And later he says that Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti. I give them the subtle intellect, pure intellect, by which they attain to me. So it is God who arranges certain satsang. So we are having a satsang today also. And this is centenary year and lots of other programs are also there. Tomorrow we'll have a talk, I think, on meditation, how Vedanta follows the path of meditation. So without taking much time, I'll request Toby to read from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And then whatever Dadami Buddhi Yogam, so God has assured that He gives intellect, the pure intellect, so that many doubts are cleared. And also we attain Him. So Toby.
I'm reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Rules for Householders and Monks. Sunday, March 9th, 1884. Master, I should like to have two pictures, one of a yogi seated before a lighted log, and another of a yogi smoking hemp and the charcoal blazing up as he pulls. Such pictures kindle my spiritual consciousness as an imitation fruit awakens the idea of a real one. The obstacle to yoga is woman and gold. Yoga is possible when the mind becomes pure. The seat of the mind is between the eyebrows, but its look is fixed on the navel and the organs of generation and evacuation, that is to say, on woman and gold. But through spiritual discipline, the same mind looks upward. What are the spiritual disciplines that give the mind its upward direction? One learns all this by constantly living in holy company. The rishis of olden times lived either in solitude or in the company of holy persons. Therefore, they could easily renounce woman and gold and fix their minds on God. They had no fear, nor did they mind the criticism of others. In order to be able to renounce, one must pray to God for the willpower to do so. One must immediately renounce what one feels to be unreal. The rishis had this willpower. Through it, they controlled the sense organs. If the tortoise once tucks in its limbs, you cannot bring them out, even by cutting it into 4 pieces. The worldly man is a hypocrite. He cannot be guileless. He professes to love God, but he is attracted by worldly objects. He doesn't give God even a small part, even a very small part, of the love he feels for woman and gold. But he says that he loves God. To Mani Malak, give up hypocrisy. Money. Regarding whom? God or man? Master, regarding everything. Man as well as God. One must not be a hypocrite. How guileless Bhavanath is. After his marriage, he came to me and asked, "Why do I feel so much love for my wife?" Alas, he is so guileless. Isn't it natural for a man to love his wife? This is due to the world-bewitching Maya of the Divine Mother of the universe. A man feels about his wife that he has no one else in the world so near and dear, that she is his very own in life and death, here and hereafter. Again, how much a man suffers for his wife. Still, he believes there is no other relative so near. Look at the sad plight of a husband. Perhaps he earns 20 rupees a month and is the father of 3 children. He hasn't the means to feed them well. His roof leaks, but he hasn't the wherewithal to repair it. He cannot afford to buy new books for his son. He cannot invest his son with the sacred thread. He begs a few pennies from different friends. But a wife endowed with spiritual wisdom is a real partner in life. She greatly helps her husband to follow the religious path. After the birth of 1 or 2 children, they live like brother and sister, both of them devotees of God, his servant and his handmaid. Their family is a spiritual family. They're always happy with God and his devotees. They know that God alone is their own, from everlasting to everlasting. They're like the Pandava brothers. They do not forget God in happiness or in sorrow. The longing of the worldly minded for God is momentary, like a drop of water on a red-hot frying pan. The water hisses and dries up in a moment. The attention of the worldly minded is directed to the enjoyment of worldly pleasure. Therefore, they do not feel yearning and restlessness for God. People may observe the Ekadashi in 3 ways. First, the waterless Ekadashi. They are not permitted to drink even a drop of water. Likewise, an all-renouncing religious mendicant completely gives up all forms of enjoyment. Second, while observing the Ekadashi, they take milk and sandesh. Likewise, a householder keeps in his house simple objects of enjoyment. Third, while observing the Ekadashi, they eat luchi and chaka. They eat their fill. They keep a couple of loaves soaking in milk, which they will eat later on. And a footnote says this observance of the Ekadashi is in name only, since the observer fills his stomach with delicious food. By avoiding rice and a few cooked articles, he keeps to the letter of the law. A man practices spiritual discipline, but his mind is on woman and gold. It is turned toward enjoyment. Therefore, in his case, the spiritual discipline does not produce the right result. Hazra used to practice much japa and austerity here, but in the country he has his wife, children, and land. Therefore, with his spiritual discipline, he carried on the business of a broker. Such people cannot be true to their word. One moment they say they will give up fish, but the next moment they break their vow. Is there anything that a man will not do for money? He will even compel a Brahmin or a holy man to carry a load. In my room, sweets would turn bad, but still I could not give them to the worldly minded. I could accept dirty water from others, but not even touch the jar of a worldly person. At the sight of rich people, Hazra would call them to him. He would give long lectures to them. He would say to them, you see Rakal and the other youngsters, they don't practice any spiritual discipline. They simply wander about merrily. A man may live in a mountain cave, smear his body with ashes, observe fasts and practice austere discipline. But if his mind dwells on worldly objects, on woman and gold, I say, shame on him. But I say that a man is blessed indeed, who eats, drinks, and roams about, but who keeps his mind free from woman and gold. Pointing to Mani Malik, there's no picture of a holy man at his house. Divine feeling is awakened through such pictures. Manilal, yes there is. In one room there's a picture of a pious Christian woman engaged in prayer. There's another picture in which a man holds to the hill of faith. Behold, below is an ocean of immeasurable depth. If he gives up his hold on the hill of faith, he will drop into the bottomless water. Still there's another picture. Several virgins are keeping vigil, feeding their lamps with oil in expectation of the bridegroom. A sleeping virgin is by their side. She will not behold the bridegroom when he arrives. God is described here as the bridegroom. Master smiling. That's very nice. Manilal, I have other pictures too, one of the tree of faith and another of sin and virtue. Master to Bhavana. Those are good pictures. Go to his house and see them.
I'm starting because then I'll take over. First what Sri Ramakrishna said, that how to bring our mind from lower chakra to higher chakra. And that is the topic tomorrow. One of that is devotion. When you are devoted to God, naturally our mind goes to higher chakras, so that the worldliness goes away from us. Sri Ramakrishna always liked simplicity. He also said that until or unless you are simple, you cannot realize what is simple. If we see, this world is a complex of apparently many forces, but actually three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. So this push and pull happens. So as in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan said, Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. O Arjuna, go beyond three gunas. So as a person tries to go, at least how to go? So subduing lower two, that means tamas and sattva, tamas and rajas, one can increase sattva. So this is the way all our spiritual practices are devised. Singing the glory of God, doing mantra japam. So all these are various ways to think of God so that tamas cannot prevail us. Rather we go to sattva. And then when it is well established, then we'll move forward to beyond three gunas. So now now we'll hear from our brother that whatever comes to you, you can go ahead.
Well, Maharaj, first let me offer my pranam and express my gratitude and thanks to you for inviting me. This is my visit in Portland after 15 years. So I am very happy to come here again after 15 years. And I think many of you, the devotees who are present here, they were there when I visited last. However, I don't know what is the exact mode of conversation here, but Maharaj has introduced Sri Ramakrishna's, started with Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel and we studied this evening that our mind is going down and down because of lust and gold. And Sri Ramakrishna was very inspired by seeing different types of pictures. And it is the conversation between Monilal. So a lot of things are there to convey. How to read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. That is number one. Our senior Swamis, they expressed in different ways, in different occasions, that how should we read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Secondly, the lust and gold. Our mind is completely full of desire. How to overcome this desire? This is the second point. The third point is, also it is mentioned in this paragraph, that holy company. How could holy company change our mind? So these are the few points what I think to be addressed, and most of things you know very well because you have been Sri Ramakrishna's devotee for many years, I think. So most of the things you know. So how to read Kathamrita, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna? This is the first point. What aim is instructing about this? Because aim is the composer of this book, you know. So what aim is telling this? He is instructing because after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, when aim was pretty old, at that time he introduced few things. He had a group of devotees. They used to come to him almost regularly to listen to Sri Ramakrishna's words, Sri Ramakrishna's his reminiscence about Sri Ramakrishna. So he introduced few things there. Number one, every day he sent one of the devotees by turn to Belur Math. And he instructed them how to go to the holy place. What should be your attitude? And after returning from the Belur Math, that person had to report everything in detail to him. and he enjoyed that. He felt this vibe from the information of that person. So he said, don't read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, a long passage in one time. Read very small portion, short portion of Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and meditate. Before reading Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, meditate a little. Try to visualize the scene in Dakshineshwar. Sri Ramakrishna's room, his bed. As it were, he is sitting on his small cot and instructing. So this is not simple information. This is the information with picture. So we have to meditate and visualize in our mental eyes what is going on there to get the essence of that portion. So this is number one. Then our 10th President Maharaj, Swami Bireshwaranandaji, he, Holy Mother's disciple, he used to say that you cannot find any unanswered question in your life from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. All the questions of your life you can find in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Brahmananda, he also talked about the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Mahapurush Maharaj also talked about Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna because this is a particular book itself, and the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is the company of holy. So, generally this question comes to our mind that where can I find the real experienced or realized soul? Nowadays it is very difficult to find realized soul. Who is realized soul? Well, it is true, it is very difficult to find realized soul nowadays. But Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is there. That is that is the holy company. Because Sri Ramakrishna is talking through that particular book. And it is not only the direct writing of what has happened there. It is M's meditative outcome. He meditated on that. And that is his outcome. Not only that, he is narrating there different angles. He analyzed. It may be this. Probably Sri Ramakrishna is thinking this. So, he is narrating Sri Ramakrishna's inner essence. Try to think that. Sri Ramakrishna is most of the time, he is in semi-conscious divine sense. So, from that state, he is talking. Try to feel that. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is not only the information or some records. Through Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, try to feel the essence of Sri Ramakrishna. Number one, in Sanskrit it is called Lila Dhyana. So, the divine play you are meditating, number one. Second, you are meditating Swarupodhyana. That is, you are meditating the essence of Sri Ramakrishna, Swarupodhyana. So, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is such a book. You can find holy company, you can find the object of meditation, and direct, not only the any other dhyana, from Lila Dhyana, directly you are going to Swarupodhyana. So the meditation on the essence is the ultimate goal. You can imbibe the spirit. When you are meditating the Swarupa, just imagine Sri Ramakrishna is talking. And feel, not the talks, not the words. Feel who is talking, his essence, his state of mind. Try to think that. Swami Vivekananda came in the United States. Still now, many of us find it difficult to understand Swamiji's lecture, what he wanted to mean. Lot of things, lot of principles is not not came out from Swami Vivekananda's lecture, because we are unable to understand that. But at that point of time, why? Do you think the Americans who attended Swami Vivekananda's lecture understood everything? I don't believe that. I think they could not understand anything. But why Swami Vivekananda was so popular? Was so prominent, and everyone is running behind Swami Vivekananda. Why? Because Swami Vivekananda revealed his Swarupa, his essence, to that. Who attended his lecture, they felt it was not the word, not the philosophy that he spoke. It was his essence that they felt. That was living to them. Only that power worked, what I felt personally. So try to feel that. That is the Swarupodhyana. So if we study the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, try to read in this way. That is the ideal way of studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This is that. So I raised few questions. Only one question is unanswered, that is, how can we resist this kind of temptations? The temptation of our desire, whether that is lust and gold, whether that is name or fame, any kind of desire. How can we resist that? That is the very big question. Because the religions of the world, they say that desire is the main problem of our suffering. Go to Christianity, Jesus said that. Go to Buddhism, Jesus said that. Go to Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that. So the desire, how can we control our desire? This is the great challenge. Maharaj referred bhakti. So, one is the path of bhakti. The second is the path of jnana. The third is the path of meditation. Okay? So these are basically three paths. And the last one is the path of karma. And the path of karma, generally we think that path of karma is very easy, and so I cannot meditate for a long time. Okay, but again I do not have bhakti, I prefer jnana. Because nowadays everywhere in the YouTube we find Vedanta, Upanishad. So people are now very much in tune with Vedanta. Everyone is interested in Vedanta.
Advaita Vedanta.
Well, that is actually my point to talk tomorrow, because Vedanta it is too much understood, it is not understood, it is so there are a lot of confusion about that. So when we talk about Vedanta, I don't know how many people very specifically knows that what they are asking for. This is Advaita Vedanta, or this is Vishishtadvaita Vedanta, or what kind of Vedanta they are asking. So that is very important thing, because Vedanta is a kind of umbrella. Starting from Tantra to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, all the 6 philosophical schools are there under that umbrella. So everything is Vedanta. So what kind of Vedanta we are talking about? So when we utter the word Vedanta, we have to be very specific that whether we are asking for Advaita Vedanta or Vishishtadvaita Vedanta, or what kind of Vedanta we are asking for. So, yes, if we talk about Advaita Vedanta, and Advaita Vedanta is not out of bhakti. We think that Advaita Vedanta is the full of jnana. It is, but it is not out of bhakti. Shankaracharya composed many bhakti hymns. Shankaracharya spoke about a lot of things about bhakti. So Shankaracharya was not completely discarded bhakti or karma. So that is a different topic. We have to very careful when we talk about philosophy. We have to very careful that what kind of things we are asking. We are very clear about that. So that is one important point. So now let me talk about this, how to get rid of the desire. So one is the path of bhakti. So bhakti doesn't say that you have to get rid of desire. If you go through Bhakti Yoga of Swami Vivekananda, you can find, it is probably in the 11th or 12th chapter, you can find Swami Vivekananda said the Bhakti path is very simplest path. Why? Because in all other yogas, all other paths, you have to get rid of something. But in Bhakti path, you do not have to get rid of anything. Only enhance what you have. You have desire. Enhance your desire. And just direct your desire towards God. Desire for God. So in bhakti, two things are there. One, you increase what you have and direct that towards divine. Bring or otherwise, bring everything, all divinity into your day-to-day life. That is the point. So,
Ramakrishna says,
yes,
more clear.
that is the simplest, that is why it is very simple. That is why it is extremely simple. Swamiji says that whatever you are doing, you are cooking. Try to think that I am cooking for God. So that is, whatever you are doing for God. So this is bhakti. So desire, no problem. Then the path of jnana. So path of jnana, you have to discard the thing. What is the technique, path of jnana, to discard desire? In Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya says that criticize. Human beings are very expert in criticizing. In Eternal Companion, Swami Brahmananda says, if two persons just gossip for 3 minutes, it starts with some spiritual thing. Then slowly it goes to some games, Super Bowl or something. In third step, it goes to politics. And in fourth step, it ended with criticism. So he says, don't gossip with a person more than 3 minutes. Limit it. In Eternal Companion, he says. So, the point is criticism. We criticize everybody. We are expert in criticism. So criticize. What you will criticize? Criticize everything. For what? Because everything is impermanent. Criticize that. That is called shama. Shata sampatti. 6 wealth we have. What are the 6 wealth? Shama, Dama, Uparati. These are Titiksha. So all these are 6 wealths. The first one is called Shama. And what is Shama? Shama is criticizing. Criticize everything because it is impermanent. So how to get rid of desire? Because you are trying to get the enjoyment of permanency from impermanent thing. Don't you think it is foolishness? You know that is impermanent and you are trying to think, get joy as it were, it is permanent. How can you derive joy from an impermanent thing as a permanent? Cannot. So whenever you think you have desire to get something, immediate bring this logic that is impermanent. Why do I want that? Because that will not stay with me. And when it will go, it will generate suffering. Very simple. This is the path of jnana. This is called Shama. And then what is the path of yoga, Raja Yoga? It is psychology. So path of Raja Yoga says, from where this desire is coming. Have you thought in time from where this desire is coming? If you think I shall not express my desire, desire will not come. Do you think you will be successful? You may not express, but it will come inside. From where it is coming? Where they were. Patanjali described that. Patanjali says that our mind is just like a very sophisticated gadget. Sophisticated gadget. What is the latest iPhone now? Pro 17 or something like that? 18. I don't know. 18. Oh, so Pro 18. Okay. So all these iPhones or iPad or sophisticated gadgets you can find, if you delete something, they will not be deleted. If you want, you can find a deleted list. You can browse it at any time. It never be deleted. So our mind is a very sophisticated gadget. What we are thinking, what we are listening, what we are talking, whatever we are doing, it lives permanently in our mind. Where these things are stored, Sigmund Freud. What Sigmund Freud said? Sigmund Freud said, we have a huge storehouse of unconscious. We do not have any access to that. Human personality is the combination of unconscious, conscious, and superconscious. So, unconscious is the huge storehouse. And the bubble, what is stored there, coming in the surface level of conscious level. And then we recognize it is my thought. Take the example. You have planned that today I shall meditate. You turned off your mobile phone. You told all your household family members that today I shall meditate. You have closed your window, door, everything, turned off your light with beautiful incense stick. We sat for meditation. Suddenly, a bubble came to your surface level. 30 years ago, something happened. And it came to your mind. And all you have become angry. All the things happened, these things. All your meditation done. Do you have any control over this? We do not have any control. Because when what thought is coming to our mind, we don't know. You thought that after this talk, you will go and you will buy something from the store. But when you just get out from this door, you said, okay, not today, tomorrow. Finish. But you had in mind from the morning that you would buy something after this talk. So we do not have any control over ourselves. We do not have any control when what thought will come to our mind. We do not have any access. So if desire, the thought of desire will come, how can we control? Patanjali says here that you see, these thought bubbles will come. The first checking point is this: don't feed desirous bubble to your unconscious. That is the first checking point. How can we do that? Take the example. When you have come to this center, how many faces you saw in your way? Thousands of faces you saw in your way. How many faces you can remember right now? Not a single. But you have seen that. Literally you have seen those faces. That means it is in your unconscious because you have seen them. But it is not coming to our conscious level. That is why we cannot remember it. So, it is possible not to feed because those things were not well fed. Feeding is very important in our modern days, in computer science. Data feeding is the most important thing. And on the basis of this data, even the AI, if the feeding is not there, AI will give nothing, zero answer. If they don't have the data store, So, the feeding, check that point. Don't take it very deeply in your unconscious. That is the most important. Now, what is the deep? What does it mean by deeply? Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pungsho Sangas Teshu Pojayate. Dhyayato Vishayan Pungsha. Pungsha means the human being. Dhyayato means meditate. Vishaya, Vishaya, the things. If you meditate, meditate means cogitation. Meditate means you are reflecting on that. Again and again you are thinking that. So, if you think again and again on something, then it will become identified with that. So, when it will be identified with that, then Dhyayato Vishayan Pungsha Sangas Teshu Upajayate. Sangha. Sangha means association. Upajayate. Sangha Sanjayate Kama. How desire is generated? This association. Your association with the worldly things. You have seen something and then you are reflecting on, oh, that's a wonderful thing. Really, that is a wonderful thing. So you are meditating on that. And then what will happen? You will generate some association. And this association generates desire. So the first point is, don't make any association with anything else. How can you do that? Criticizing that. That is impermanent. That is criticism. That is called discrimination. By discriminating, that is impermanent. So what is the second checkpoint Patanjali is saying? Unfortunately, you have the association and it has already faded deeply in your unconscious. Then what will happen? At one point of time, the bubble will come to your surface level. Take another example. Every day you are thinking, consciously, unconsciously, so many things. Liking, disliking, so many things is coming to your mind. How many things are you actualizing? Only one or two. Why? What is the function? It is the function of will. Will has a tremendous function in our spiritual life. What is will? In Upanishad, it is called Kratu in Chandogya Upanishad. It is called Kratu. In Bhagavad Gita, it is called Ichha. So this will has a tremendous impact in our spiritual life. And what is happening? Say another example of will. Will is the dynamic aspect of our spirit, of our self. So what is the function of will? You are trying to meditate and you have the object of your meditation. You are meditating on something. I hope so. And you are trying to bring that object of meditation under your focus. But always it is slipping away. It is going away. And you are trying to bring it. So it is a kind of tug of war You are trying to bring it, your object of meditation, under your focus, but always it is going away. And you are trying to bring it back. So what force you are applying to bring it back under your focus? You are applying some force, na? What is that force? That is not mental force. That is will. The one-pointed force that we are applying, that is called will. So will has different function even in our spiritual life. So what is happening actually, when the bubble is coming up, we are hooking by the will to the sprout of these desires, these bubbles. That is why we do not actualize all our thoughts. We only actualize only one. Take the example. When I got up from bed this morning, then I thought that, okay, I want to get something. So I want to get some chocolate, I want to get some rasagulla, I want to get something. But who will bring for me that thing at that point of time? But I have hooked with the will. Desires came. My logic, I could not resist it by discrimination. So I hooked it with my will. So what I did, I called somebody, some devotees, can you please bring that? The devotee says, no, I am busy Maharaj today. So I became angry. Oh, I am telling, I am requesting, and you are not doing that. Then I called another devotee. He said, okay, Maharaj, I can buy that and bring to half of the way and give someone, so he will bring to you. I said, okay, in that way I am planning. So see, what is the tremendous force of our desire. When we hooked with the will, by the will, then it is so strong that somehow or other we want to fulfill that desire. So the second checking point is, don't hook any of your desire by will. How can you do that? Only ignore. When any desire come to your mind, just ignore that. They will die automatically. They will not go. They will stay. Again they will come. But they will become weak, weaker and weaker and weaker. Don't hook with that will. This is called Sankalpa. This is called Sankalpa. That is why from this particular principle, another sub-principle evolved, which is called Sankalpa. What is Sankalpa? Sankalpa means take some kind of oath or make something definite. In puja, in worship, Maharaj knows very well, when we perform worship, in the beginning of the worship, we do Sankalpa. What is Sankalpa? What Sankalpa says? That in such and such date, in such and such lunar and solar position, we are performing this worship for the good of the many. This is in short, this is the essence of Sankalpa. That means we are taking some kind of oath that we are performing this thing. What is the use of that? Why are we doing this? We are doing this to check this bubble, desire bubble. How can this kind of oath check this bubble? Now, do you know what is the principle of vaccination? What is the principle of vaccination? We take the flu shot, no? To protect flu. We take the other shots to measles and the pox, chicken pox and other things, we take the shot. So what is the principle of it? To build immunity. But we are taking, that shot is not the medicine. We are taking some antibody to develop our immunity. We are taking some kind of bacteria to develop our immunity. This is the principle. We are feeding something to protect other thoughts. We are feeding one definite thought that I am going to perform this worship. This thought we are feeding to our unconscious to protect, to block other thoughts. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Why? Take example. You have a very serious meeting in your office. Your manager is coming, so you have to present something in your office. 3 days, you are doing everything. But in your head, in your mind, always that thoughts are there, that you have to do something. A very VIP guest will come to your house, and he or she will stay for 2-3 days. You are doing everything, but your mind is there. Oh, see, they are coming. So we have to arrange for them. We have to cook. What kind of things we have to cook? So your mind is there. And what is the impact of that? In these 3 days, no any other thoughts are disturbing you. Only one thought you are carrying. So if you feed one thought in your mind, no other thought will disturb you. No bubble will come to your mind. So this is called Sankalpa technique. So you have to do some kind of Sankalpa to block other thoughts. What should be the Sankalpa? When you get up from your bed, your mind is fresh, do some Sankalpa. Today, these things I will do. Very deeply feed in your unconscious and hold on to that. No other thought will come. In this way, according to Patanjali, we can check our desire. There are other things, I do not go to all those points, only these points. So, bhakti, jnana and yoga. You can control your desire. Desire or samaskaras. This is also called samaskaras. These bubbles are called samaskaras. These are, you can change your habits by practice. But to control samaskaras is extremely difficult. Another last point. How can we check? Another point. Why holy company is important? Why reading holy books are important? If you feed bad things, Sri Ramakrishna says, Sri Ramakrishna, everything you can find in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I said, the feeding, that thoughts you will carry. Sri Ramakrishna says, you have a toothache. You can do everything, but your mind is stick. Mind will stick with the toothache. Your mind always carry that. So it is just like that. Carry one thought. Then this. Sri Ramakrishna says, if you eat too much garlic or onion, the burp will be, that kind of smell burp will come. So, if you feed bad thing, the bubble will come, that kind of things. So feed good things. When there will be the predominance of good things in your unconscious, then only good thing will come. In chemistry, there is a law. It is said that when two elements are chemically reacting, it depends upon the mass. The reaction, the time of reaction is depending upon the mass of those elements. So, see, the good element and bad element, all are in your unconscious. So, if the good element, the mass of good element is heavier, then they will dominate the bad element. So that will come to your conscious level. So this is the importance of holy company. Holy company doesn't mean only you have to keep association with the Swamis. The books among the devotees. Do you know, I was shocked when I read, the book was there, now it is not published, I don't know, a different book is publishing, The History of Mott and Mission. It was written by Swami Gambhiranandaji. When I read this book, Swamiji is telling at one point that there will be the Belur Math as a nucleus, and surrounding Belur Math, there the devotees, the household devotees will reside surrounding the Belur Math. I was shocked that Swamis and monks, they will go, they will live in isolation. But they will live surrounded by the household devotees. I was wonderstruck. I read it 2-3 times and I found it is true. So I thought and I found that this is what Swamiji is actually propagating. That how much monk can do. These household devotees, the lay devotees, in other words, lay devotees. These lay devotees, they will come up and they will spread and they will, it is called, in Arnold Toynbee, he coined a phrase, creative minority. So this group is a creative minority. It is a minor group, but it is a creative group. very small group, but all are charged with Sri Ramakrishna's ideals. So they spread this message. They are the main instrument to carry on Swamiji's ideals. And they are the holy company. So Sri Ramakrishna used to initiate his niece, Lokhi Didi. He would say, Lokhi Didi, his niece, see, when you are idle, you and your aunt, means Holy Mother, both of you will discuss what is being discussed here. Here means what Sri Ramakrishna is talking. What Sri Ramakrishna is discussing, you will discuss that kind of thing. The same thing you will discuss between yourselves. So this kind of discussion is very important. And who will do this discussion? This is the holy company. This creative minority. This creative minority is the holy company. And this holy company will feed the positive vibration to our unconscious, to protect the desire, to block the desire. Sounds good? Any question? Yes.
Swamiji, when you were telling us about Sankalpa, can you tell us a little more about it? Like, it sounded like it's kind of a very firm and clear commitment as to what you will do that day that's in service of a greater good. Is that an accurate understanding?
Yeah. Whatever. Today I shall not speak any lie. Today I shall not anything lie. That is a great sankalpa. Second, in meditation and spiritual life, Swami Yatishwarananda ji gave another very good suggestions, advice. He said that every day after each work, we should surrender at the holy feet of Thakur. We offer ourselves and we offer the work that we do. Take the example, in your office, you received a phone call. You talked and you disconnect. Then just take 1 second, close your eyes. The fruits of this telephone call, offer at feet of Sri Ramakrishna. That's all. In this way, throughout the day, how many times we are remembering Sri Ramakrishna and we are offering ourselves at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. This is one of the sankalpa. Today I shall do this.
You are a good at it. So that shloka, one shloka is there in Bhagavad Gita shloka. Dhyato Vishyan Pumsa Sangrasteshu Upajaya. Two things are there. Sangra, like this is sankalpa. In Gita, sankalpa is different. Whatever we do with a resolve. So all work presupposedly with sankalpa. So this is Gita sankalpa. What Maharaj said, sankalpa, that is positive resolve for some good action. So, because I am clarifying this, because there this trope idea. It's called attachment or sangha. It's like when you say, put something and then wipe. Still something is there. But it's not that fully taken out. So, dhyato vishayan pumsha sangasteshu upajayate. Like an example, we go for any reason to shopping mall, and we see something all of a sudden. Then we see again. We see 2-3 times, or a few times. Then we have some liking for that. Dhyato vishayan pumsha. Say, then we think about it. And when we think about it, that object, then more and more we think, we get more attached. So sankalpa, that's another shloka. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman taktva sarvan asheshata. So that's the difference. This is dhyato vishayan pumsha sangasteshu pajati. So we get attached with it. Then sangat sanjayati kama. When we have sangha, attachment or some liking, then comes desire. Sangat sanjayati kama. Kamat krodho vijayati. If it is obstructed by some reason or something, then we are angry. Sangat sanjayati kama. Kamat krodho vijayati. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. From anger, when we are totally confused, means we forget our real self. So, as of now also though we know our real self, but we do not know. Because we are so attached with this world. Sangat sanjayati kama, kamat krodho vijayati, krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti bhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. When we are confused, then our good thoughts, so intellect, good reasoning, or pure thoughts, reasoning, buddhi here, intellect. So buddhi means good, whatever is. Then we lose that. Buddhinasho. And when that is purified, pure intellect, by which we understand ourselves, when that is lost, then we lose ourselves. And it is natural for our senses to see outside. Whenever we open our eyes, we see outside. And when we see something, we like it. Or we dislike it. So two possibilities are there, liking, disliking. Disliking is also a liking, and a sangha. If I dislike something, that's also a sangha. So, when we have disliking or aversion, that we can say, then also we are involved. So what we need to do, like sankalpa prabhavan kaman sarvan taktva asheshata. So if we remove, or we try to remove, we take resolve totally from our mind, and we engage our mind with the divine, then gradually we are established in it. So the first thing is attachment. We get a sangha. In the 15th chapter also, asanga shastrena dridhena chittva. detachment. Detachment because of our because of our total renunciation. So this is, of course, this is difficult. But what when Maharaj told mostly, it's like offering to God. Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yad jihoshi, dadasi yat tapasvasi bodhdeya, tat purusham adarpana. So offer that everything to me, whatever you eat, whatever you do, yat karoshi, yadashnasi, whatever you donate, and also sacrifice. Everything you offer to him. So this way, what happens, gradually we are detached. That sangha is gone. And when either that time we are free, or when we offer, that means we are at the feet of God. So either way we can proceed so that our desire, and out of desire whatever degradation that happens, that can be removed. So Gita, especially Gita, says all these things. And what Sri Ramakrishna said, that more filially, that means whatever you like. As we open our eyes, we cannot stop seeing. It's very difficult. So better it is to offer to God. These are the things that by which we can uplift ourselves, we can sublimate ourselves. This is what I understand.
So these are not information.
Mm.
These are practice.
Religion lies in practice.
Because I live in the Silicon Valley, We have two centers. One is Berkeley, one is in San Jose. So, heart of the Silicon Valley. So, the nature of Silicon Valley is this, because we have devotees from all the corporate sectors. So, the nature of this. Can you please tell me, Maharaj, what is this? What is this means? Say Patanjali Yoga Sutra, or Naradiya Bhakti Sutra, or Viveka Chudamani. These are the scriptures. Can you please tell? Means everything in the bullet form, and as an information. Oh, it is this. Oh, okay, I got it. But spirituality is not like this. It cannot be done in a bullet form.
Swami, just to clarify, right, you said to deal with desire. You talked about the different Raja Yoga, for example, Yoga. You said for samskaras, you first notice that it's impermanent.
No, there are different checking points.
Right. So first, impermanent.
First, do not feed it
Feeling.
to your unconscious.
Second,
How can you check this feeding?
Second, you said ignore it.
No. Yes.
So
First is, let us finish first one. First is, do not feed it in your unconscious. How can you do that? Because that is impermanent. So do not, what Maharaj says, do not establish a sangha, association, with something which is impermanent. That is the first thing. The second thing is ignore. So, by chance, you have established this association and it came to your unconscious. So, when it entered into your unconscious, at one time, it will come to your conscious level as a desire. So what you will do then? Ignore them.
Third, you said the sankalpa.
When this bubble will come as a desire, do not give any importance to them. This is simply practice. Know it, this is desire. I shall not give importance. I am going to trapped. Yes. And third one is Sankalpa. Practice it. And this is also the association of holy. This is connected to association with holy. Because feeding. You must avoid the feeding of bad things, but you have to feed good things. That is why holy association.
So this Sankalpa, what Maharaj said, and Gita Sankalpa is like different.
Right.
uh,
But just to, positive.
a positive Sankalpa. So that means I'll do this, resolve. That Sankalpa means whatever we do, that behind that, some desire is there.
Our puja sankalpa is just like this.
Like that, positive. And see negation, one is negation, path of negation, one is path of affirmation. Devotion is path of that affirmation.
And
Neti neti.
jnana, the path of negation.
Jnana, knowledge. Knowledge means like what we practice, neti neti. So that jnana is negation. But this knowledge, like everything offered to God as creation of God, as God Himself. So this knowledge is affirmation. So knowledge itself can be seen from two standpoints. This is also a knowledge, but this is knowledge of affirmation. Neti neti is one path. To negate whatever is temporary, whatever is impermanent, whatever is anityam, asukham. Anityam, asukham, lokam, imam prapya vajasomam. So whatever we consider other than me, my real self, only by separation we can segregate our real self. The other thing is like whatever we see, it is all objectified myself. So knowledge, we see from both the sides. In one place, Swamiji said, the correct knowledge or the expression of correct knowledge is through neti neti. I cannot quote now exactly what he means this. Neti neti. But it's not for everybody. It's very difficult. We are ordinary human beings. It's better to remember God all the time. That's also that.
Yeah, actually you mentioned only the Raja Yoga, but Bhakti Yoga you did not mention. So we asked, at one point of time we had the opportunity to ask this question to revered Swami Bhuteshanandaji Maharaj when he was the president of the order. So we asked him that, Maharaj, Swamiji said that either through one yoga or by integration of all the yogas, we attain the goal. So, what is the right path? Integration of 4 yogas or following one yoga? Very clearly, Prasannatmananda said that it is not possible for us to follow only one yoga. For us, integration of yogas. So please don't forget or omit bhakti, path of bhakti yoga. Change the direction. Whenever it is just like a war, it is just like a war. You are fighting against your desire. Okay? So in ancient time there was different types of arrows. One is Brahmastra, one is little bit lower astra. All these kind of weapons were there. The arrows. They release the arrows. Now it is rocket, missile, all these kind of things. So please arrange your missiles accordingly. Whatever is the enemy, please release that kind of weapon to destroy.
Swamiji in another place said that if the flow of blood goes to your head or feet, to anybody, is he a healthy person? Or if it is flowing equitably, that means it required to go to head more, to limbs less. So wherever it is required. Similarly, all 4 yogas to be practiced, then only one person is a healthy person. Wherever it is required. You cannot be idle and all the time doing neti. We have to work. Even Gita says, even bodily functions cannot be performed. Sharir yatra api na prasiddhe akarma. Without work, we cannot maintain our body.
Sri Ramakrishna advised Swami Vivekananda. Sri Ramakrishna advised, why you are tasting only one thing? Taste everything.
Why you should be monotonous?
Taste sour, taste sweet, taste hot kind of thing. Taste everything. Then you can enjoy.
Oh. So gone right?
Way too long.
Oh, I see. Very good. So thank you very much. Tomorrow we'll have the second session of this second day of the second session. Thank you all.
Thank you for your patient hearing.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tasya Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So we do puja here. We have, it's like we culture about knowledge. So Sri Ramakrishna said, enjoy yourself with all 4 yogas, 4 paths. Okay, Deva.
What, Marini, how are you? How are you?